Hi guys, welcome back to Queen Bean Reads. I'm here today to talk about my picks for the Reading Rush 2020. The Reading Rush is a 7-day event where basically you just read a lot of books, and there are certain criteria or challenges in which you pick these books out. And I'm going to show you my picks. It was started by Ariel and Raylene, but they have a social media page on Instagram. They also have a website, thereadingrush.com. I will link all of that below to help you guys better understand that. But basically, it is a week-long event in which you read a lot of books. And you don't have to follow exactly to the challenges, but I'm definitely going to try my best. This year, the Reading Rush is from July 20th to the 26th. So if you would like to join this, or if you're interested to see which books I picked for the Reading Rush, just stay tuned. I have my handy dandy notebook here to help me keep track of everything. The first challenge is to read a book with a cover that matches the color of your birthstone. What a fun idea. I am very lucky. My birthstone's really easy. I was born in July, so my birthstone is a ruby, which is red. And I feel like it's pretty easy to find a red book. However, in March, my first book haul of the pandemic, I bought The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, and I haven't read this yet. It's been on my TBR, so I'm excited to finally read this, especially since it's been sitting on my shelf for 3 months now. The Underground Railroad, I believe, is a work of fiction, but historical fiction, which is a favorite genre of mine, and I'm very excited to read this one. So I am glad that this book is read. Last year in my US history class, the era that I teach is actually from the 1850s to the early 20th century. So I get to teach the pre-Civil War era, which is another reason why I'm very excited to read this book. I heard it was very good by a lot of people. The second challenge is to read a book that begins with the word "the." That one for me seemed pretty easy, but this one is really good because it's something that you can stack with other books. So the book that I mentioned previously, The Underground Railroad, is a perfect book for this challenge because there are 7 challenges, and I don't think I could read 7 books in a week, or it would be really hard. I probably wouldn't sleep. I am definitely going to be stacking some of these books into different categories, and you can definitely do the same. I just want to have a realistic goal for myself, and I think what I picked is realistic. The third challenge is to read a book that inspired a movie that you've already seen. For this one, I actually really wanted to read Rosemary's Baby because I've never read it before, and it's actually my good friend's favorite book. My friend Jenna was gonna lend this to me, but I wanted to film right away. So I actually chose a different book for this challenge. However, Jenna, if you give me this book before the 20th, I still hope to read Rosemary's Baby for this challenge. So for backup, I have The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I saw this movie a long time ago, so I am actually excited to read the book version. I had no idea it was a book first, actually. So this is a fun challenge for discovering books that you didn't know existed that inspired movies, because I did not know this, and I actually ordered this off Thrift Books again at the beginning of the pandemic, and I do want to read this. I definitely want to read Rosemary's Baby more because I am interested in reading more horror books, but this one will suffice, and I'm sure it will be great. However, Jenna, if you're out there and you're watching this, if you could lend me Rosemary's Baby, I would greatly appreciate it. The fourth challenge is to read the first book that you touch. What a fun idea. And also, it took me a while to figure out how I was even going to do this. I didn't want to just randomly touch a book on my bookshelf because I've read so many of the books on my bookshelf and I didn't want to reread. I definitely want to try reading new stuff during this challenge. So what I decided to do was go to the bookstore, masked up, of course, with my friend Amanda, who helped me shoot the footage that you will see next. I just picked a few books that I really wanted to read that were recommendations from people or that I just, found on my own and wanted to read, and I laid them all out on the floor. Of course, my hands were sanitized first and after, and just kind of blindly reached. I will insert the video now. All right. Okay. So as you could see, I chose the biggest book that was in that selection, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I am so excited to read this though. I'm hoping that even though it's big because it is young adult, that I'll be able to read it pretty fast within the span of the 7 days. But this book has just really blown up and that makes me so happy. It definitely gives me like Harry Potter series vibes, the way that it's kind of blowing up right now. This is the first book, and this is a special edition actually. They had a red one, a black one, and a gold one, and I tend to gravitate towards dark colors, so I went with the black one here. And I have no idea what connector means, but I imagine I will discover what that means when I read this book. But yeah, I've heard really great things about this series, which is now a series because there is at least a second book. And I am so excited for this one. I love magic, and I also love that this is something that I could recommend to my students if I really enjoy it. The fifth challenge is to read a book entirely outside of your house. This one is really easy for me because I have a reading spot on my porch that I enjoy reading in anyway. I also am lucky enough to have a beach where I live, where we can still be really socially distanced because I don't live in a big city. So I plan on taking the book to the beach, on my porch, and just other safe places like that. I do realize, and also the reading rush touched on how hard this challenge could be for this pandemic that we have going on. So they gave some really cool recommendations. You should definitely check out the videos that I posted below, and also go to thereadingrush.com to figure out what more of those are. But one that I remember that stuck out to me is to read listening to outdoor noises like on Spotify or something, or play like a YouTube video that's like scenery of outside while you're reading. Something like that is a really creative way to get around the stay-at-home order if you are currently living in a bigger city in which you have to stay at home. So there are alternatives for this. Definitely get creative. I also watched another girl's video where she said that you could paint a picture of outside and have it near you while you read. So that's another good idea too. But definitely be creative with this one. Again, this is one that will be easy for me, so I am going to probably pick one of the smaller books though, just to make it even easier on myself, and read one of these two outside. The sixth challenge is to read a book in a genre that you've always wanted to read more of. I love this challenge as well, especially getting out of my comfort zone. I do tend to fall into my comfort zone a lot. And so I've had books just on my shelf collecting dust. So for this one, I chose a book that I got I want to say in the beginning, maybe in the fall of 2019, so not that long ago. Hungry Ghosts by Anthony Bourdain, and I am so excited about this. The reason why this is something that I wouldn't normally read is because it's a graphic novel. I have never read a graphic novel in my life. That is a true story. A lot of people are into comic books. That has proven to be true with the movies that come out, all of the Marvel and DC movies that seem to be all that's out there. And I never got into graphic novels, and I know that there has to be one out there for me. This one really sounds like it's going to be it. It's described as tales of fear and food from around the world, and I love I love food. And I am also interested in reading more horror, more of that genre. So this actually is two genres that I want to read more of. So I'm really excited about this one. I love Anthony Bourdain. I can watch all of his shows on repeat all day, every day, and be perfectly happy. And I've read his other books, and he is a brilliant writer. And just the way that he speaks to me is so interesting. So I'm really excited for this one, and I am glad that I am being challenged to read this, which is completely out of my comfort zone. And the seventh and final challenge is to read a book that takes place on a different continent than where you live. I also love this too. I have read lots of books that don't take place here in America, North America specifically, the continent. But yeah, I always try to read from around the world. I love learning, so I'm excited about this one, and Hungry Ghosts actually fits in this because this is tales of fear and food from around the world. So this is a perfect one for this challenge too. The reason why I have decided to stack things into multiple categories is because this is only 7 days. So I don't think that I could read 7 books in 7 days and still sleep. So I decided to stack certain things that could fit into multiple categories. If you guys want to participate in this challenge, you can of course do it any way that you want. Technically, you could probably find maybe like 1 or 2 books that fit within all of these categories to kind of make that a little less intimidating, like I did by doing 4 books that fit into these 7 categories. Again, more information about the Reading Rush, like the website, the Instagram, and Ariel and Raylene's video, I will link below in the description. I can see some of my friends and family being really good at this challenge, also wanting to participate in it. So I'm gonna call some people out. Jordan, Aaron, you read like 7 books in a day. I follow you on Goodreads, and you are just the most readery person I know. And I think it would be fun for you. Sophia, I follow you on Instagram. I think that this one would be fun for you as well if you have a stack of books that you haven't read yet that could fit into these categories. And Jess and Jenna, I know you guys enjoy reading, and you might be interested in dipping outside of your comfort zone. So if any of you guys would like to join this challenge with me, definitely let me know in the comments. Maybe we could have a little social distance date at the beach with our books for our outside books. Whatever you guys decide to do, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear what you pick. Definitely let me know below in the comments. And other than that, thank you for watching. As always, I am so appreciative. Please check out my Bookstagram. I have a Bookstagram now, Queen Bean Reads. I have been steadily trying to grow that. So if you could check that out, maybe like some of my pictures and leave some comments and some love, maybe even follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Give this video a thumbs up. I would be greatly appreciative. Have a wonderful day. Bye.